But before we get into rescue dogs, because I know a lot of people have questions on that audience, I do want to ask a fun question in the sense of when you go to first meet a dog, or you're thinking of getting a dog, or whether you go to a shelter or whether you go to somebody that has the dog and a friend, or how it all works out. However, from a spiritual standpoint, what are some things that you can do to prepare yourself to meet? And then are there things that you can do to see how the bond is, like, because we always look at the dogs like, oh, the dog is cute, the dog likes me. It's all that superficial,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. What are some things that people could do, some practical things that they can do to make sure that there's a soul bond there?
Yeah, there's certain elements you can know right away you're gonna bond with, but I think the biggest thing for the human aspect is be present and be grounded. Because if you're not grounded and you're all up in your head and you're going, "Oh, that's a cute dog. Oh, I could do agility with that dog, or I could do this with that dog."
And
Just everything in your mind, your body, feel your feet on the ground, breathe, walk around and just, I don't know, a lot of times now we don't get to go in and see dogs in kennels
Mhm.
like we used to. We used to walk through the kennels and go, "Oh, I want that one. I want that one."
Zen.
So I think that it's a little bit different the way they're managing it now. But if you're seeing them outdoors, just watch them and don't think so much. I think the thinking gets in the way all the time of what your heart
Yes.
really wants to say. Your heart is your voice and it's your primary sense organ and your brain is not. And so we process things through our brain first, then our heart second. And we're supposed to do it the other way around. So we're supposed to process through our
That's
heart.
so good. Your heart is your voice. That's so good.
Yeah, and then you let your brain deal with what your heart said. So I think when we learn to do that, we learn to switch that mechanism like it's supposed to be, like it was, 50,000 years ago when we met our first dog. It was all about heart.